Tara, trade tayo.
Good evening, everyone. Ako po ulit, si Jean Pacheco, and welcome to Trade Tayo. Every 6:30 po, basta Friday. Ito po yung show ng DTI sa ating DTI YouTube channel. So, umpisahan na ho natin kaagad sa ating favorite topic and segment of the show, yung tinatawag po nating Sagot Kita. Dito po sa Sagot Kita, ang aming itatakil ngayong tanong ulit on business name registration. Kasi ho talagang every week, talagang patok na patok ho talaga siya. 40% of the questions that we receive through the Malasakit Center, DTI Call Center, pati po DTI Facebook, lahat po ay talaga pong malami po talaga ay business name. So dalawa po ang tanong. Actually, business name tsaka consumer complaint, yan po yung patok na mga tanong. So ngayon po, ang isang tanong na napili natin, can an online business be registered when the owner is abroad? Ay, opo, ang sagot dyan ay yes. Kasi kahit ho saan kayo at gusto po ninyo mag-apply ng inyong business name, ay pwedeng-pwede po. Ang kailangan lang ho ninyo ay, una, siguraduhin pong handa kayo sa pangalan na inyong gustong i-register. At pangalawa po, dahil ito po ay online registration, ay ready po din kayo sa tinatawag nating online payment. Ang online payment po ay pwede through GCash, Paymaya, pwede din pong through credit card, JCB, Mastercard, Visa, at saka pwede din ho tayo mag-fund transfer, no, based on your bank. Basta ho, through the Land Bank Link Biz Portal. So, yun lang po. Tapos, handa po tayo na babayaran ho natin, depending on territorial scope, 200 pesos pag barangay, 500 pesos pag city, and then 1,000 pag regional, at 2,000 pag national. Ay, dadagdagan pa po pala natin ng 30 pesos pang documentally stamp tax. Yun po, tax. So, yun po, so 230, 530, 1,030, at saka 2,030. So, yun lang po. Pagka kayo po ay talagang handa na, pumunta po kayo, BNRS, dti.gov.ph. Yun po, no? Kahit saan pa kayo, kahit na naka-laptop, naka-mobile, naka-computer po, yan po ay pwede po kayong mag-register ng inyong business name. Pag kayo po ay may problema, please don't hesitate to email us at bnrshelpdesk@dti.gov.ph. Makikita ho nyo yan sa ating screen. Plus, you can also text o kaya Viber kung gusto nyo mabilis, 0917-863-0669 o 0917-597-6362. So, lahat po yan, pwede po ninyong makausap ang DTI sa inyong mga tanong. Okay. So, pangalawa naman pong nung question natin, how to file a complaint against a false advertisement in a platform. Ay, naku ho, nabiktima ho ako niyan. Kasi akala ko bibili ako ng isang lalagyan ng plato na malaki at nagsabi ko mabigat ito, bubuhatin ng 2 tao. Eh, ang dumating ho, lalagyan ho ng plato ni Barbie doll. Ganito ho kaliit. So talaga ho, inis na inis ho talaga ako. Talagang nag-complain ako sa DTI. So, anong ginawa ko bilang nag-complain? Sinulat ko po, ito ho ang kailangan natin. You have to write the narrative po kung ano ho ang nangyari. Pinakita ko yung screenshot kung kanino ko in-order. Pinakita ko po yung resibo. Binigyan ko ho ng picture yung cabinet na dapat lalagyan ng plato. Tapos naging ganito ho. Pinakita ko ho lahat yon. At syempre, alam nyo ho, nagsabi ho ako dun sa binilan ko. Okay. So, sumulat ho ako sa DTI at sumulat din ako. Alam nyo, tumawag ho sa akin yung binilan ko at sabi, i-refund daw nila ako. Pero ako po talagang gusto kong subukan din yung sistema natin. At yun po, meron po tayong tinatawag na mediation kung saan paghaharapin po yung complainant at saka po yung binilan. So ganun po ang proseso ng DTI, kaya inaaksyonan po ng Department of Trade and Industry. Basta ho, ang ano po is either you email at the Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau of the Department of Trade or consumercare@dti.gov.ph. Yun po ang ating mga kailangang gawin para ho ma-aksyonan ang inyong complaint. By the way, nakalagay sa tanong against online platforms. Alam niyo po, dalawa po, no, like Shopee tsaka Lazada po, no? Sila po ay merong mga consumer care divisions na kapag kayo po ay merong ganitong problema, ay pwede po talaga kayong dumulog sa kanila sa mga online platforms na ito at sila po ay talagang mag-a-action. Ang alam ko po, no, that sometimes they do it within 24 hours. So, yun ho, at kung hindi ho sapat, sa tingin nyo gusto talaga ninyong idulog sa Department of Trade, ay talaga po, ito po ay mandato ng aming Fair Trade Enforcement Bureau at makakaasa po kayo na yan po ay talagang aaksyonan ng DTI. So yun po, ang ating segment 1 na tinatawag nating Sagot Kita. Tayo po ay pupunta na sa ating segment 2 at tinatawag nating Usapang Trade.
Ayan, nandito na ho tayo sa second segment natin, yung ating usapang trade or usap-usap tayo. DTI resource persons, no, na pwedeng mag-explain sa atin in greater detail, no, nung ating mga issues and concerns about DTI. Ngayon po, we have a special guest, no. Ang special guest po natin, isa po siyang one of my favorite newbies po ng DTI kasi bagong-bago po siyang Executive Director ng Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines. Alam niyo ho, labs natin din yung construction industry kasi napakalaki ng epekto niya in the economy. Pero ang ating ED po ay kapwa ko po taga Paranaque. So, ED Jeremy, you say hello first.
Yes, hello po. Glad to be here and thank you for allowing me. And sabi mo, bago pa lang, so we're excited to do a lot of things. Of course, malaking tulong yung turo sa akin ng nanay ko. Na-form Paranaque din.
So there's, ano siya ngayon kasi hindi ko alam kung mapapasubo siya kasi imagine mo formas pero I think alam na niya talaga yung ins and outs. So let me just, I medyo kind of told you this already, but the segment, kasi the entire show is only about 15 minutes. No? So this show is really like 5 questions in 5 minutes. So you only have 1 minute per question. So that's the ano. So I'll ask you questions. I mean, you know this naman na. And
Minimum ba yung 1 minute?
Ha?
Minimum ba yan?
Oo, kasi dapat, hindi naman, pwede ka naman mag 5 minutes. Para lahat naman. So ang objective mo, sir, 100. Okay. Kasi 5 questions. So, i-score kita later. Siyempre, alam mo naman ako planning. So, talagang yung metric. So, okay, are you ready? We have the clock. The audience will actually see the clock.
Okay.
The audience will actually see the clock.
Time is precious.
But before that, teka lang, sa mga nanonood ho, kita po yung jacket ko. Yan. Kasi ito po yung tatagatapat, galing po ng Construction Industry Authority. Essentially ito hong Construction Industry Authority or CIAP is an attached agency of the DTI. Sila po yung talagang namamahala ng buong construction industry dito sa Pilipinas. So yan ho yung yun po yung work ni ED Jeremy. Alright? Sige, we do it. ED Jeremy, explain mo nga, bakit nga ba tatagatapat?
Well, tatag at tapat is a slogan which was created during the building of the construction roadmap. No? And it basically has 2 meanings. For the public, of course, being a public agency, CIAP, it is up to us to be tatag kasi with the challenges with government, yung mga bad influences, no, we really have to be strong to face those. No? Of course, with tapat, likewise, we have to we have to work with what we have. We have to be yung oath natin to serve well, do well, to serve to the best of our capabilities. No? But in terms of the industry as a whole, it has to be built with integrity, not just strong. Of course, you can do a lot of things, making the foundation of your infrastructure strong. But the most important there is you really have to be tapat to your building. So integrity ang importante dyan because with integrity comes with yung vision ng construction industry na maging maganda at maging modernized kagad.
Okay. So, in my question number 2, in your stint as executive director, can you give me 3 issues that are now currently that you think the priority that government or SIAP in particular must address? Na problema to ng industriya ng construction.
Well,
What are these 3?
Well, the first I would say is the issue on the foreign contractors. Because right now we have a pending case with the Supreme Court na allowing the foreign contractors to come in the local market. And this is a big thing for us because the local contractors are threatened because these foreign contractors are big. They have all the means, mas cheaper ang costing nila, so mas cheaper yung billings nila, which the local contractors feel if they come in, we will lose jobs, we will lose skilled workers. No? So that's one of the issues. The second is the COVID-19, of course. We have passed several resolutions or guidelines in coordination with IATF. And the issue here is the amount of money that it is incurred because of the guidelines, because of the COVID-19. And another, related to COVID-19 as well, is the impact of the COVID-19 naman in the industry, because 2020 began with 4 million construction workers. We ended with 2 million construction workers. And 2020 began the golden age of infrastructure in terms of the Philippine growth. We ended 35% negative GDP growth.
Okay. So you did mention a lot about COVID. So let's go to COVID. Marami the segment today will need to focus on what people need to know about the standard set relative to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the minimum public standards or construction guidelines that you provided for contractors and
Yeah, well, basically there are 2 guidelines that contractors should follow. The first one, if you are in public construction, you have to follow the Department Order DPWH 35 and the amended version of 39. And similar to that, the CIAP released the guidelines for private constructions, which was researched by PDCB, the Philippine Domestic Construction Board, basically saying that the contractor, before entering into contract, they must talk to the client to talk about the additional expenses for the construction workers, the testing, the PPEs, the barracks nila, and then the isolation facilities. Now, these are all added costs that they have to settle. No? That's for new construction. But if it's ongoing, and nangyari na yung COVID, it is up to the contractor to settle these expenses. And under the DOLE ruling as well, or guidelines, it's specified there.
So fourth question tayo, very quickly. So who pays for this? Yung construction worker ba with this mga standards that are set? May gastos ba yung construction workers dyan?
Of course, being working always incurs additional costs. Siyempre, meron silang vitamins, meron silang alcohol, meron silang masks and face shields. No? But the real gist of the cost in the industry is basically providing them facilities where it's suitable for them to stay. And then the testing, malaking gastos po yun. No? The construction workers can't naman afford the PCR testing. So it's really the responsibility of the contractor or the project owner to shoulder these expenses.
Time is up, 4 out of 5. Pero I need to answer you.
Okay.
You need to answer.
Okay.
I still have 2 questions. Dahil mahaba yung question ko, may balato yun. Ako ay gusto magpatayo ng bahay o gusto kong i-expand yung i-repair ko yung toilet ko o yung kitchen ko. Anong payo ng SIAP sa mga katulad ko na maliliit lang naman na mga construction na paggagawa ko sa aking bahay?
Well, if you're looking to get a contractor, unang-una, you have to make sure na ito ay accredited by the PICAB. Kasi this is your safeguard, making sure na they are capable, that they have the experience. No? This is your safeguard also. Kung lokohin kayo, we can find means to make sure na bigyan ng justice yung nangyari sa inyo.
Ganon. Ito na yung last question, kasi related doon. Ano daw ang ginagawa ng SIAP o ng government doon sa mga contractors na hindi lisensyado?
Well, marami po yun. Right now, it is estimated that 50,000 active contractors are there. But we are sad to report that only 15,000 are accredited or licensed by PCAP. So that's a big problem that we're facing now. But what we're doing under the law, that the enforcing officer is all the local governments, the PNP, or any agency. And what we do there is, nagkaroon ng instance that they are constructing without the license. We file cases dun sa korte, and then we take over the project.
Okay. Not bad. 80s. Okay. It's a good
It's okay.
one because of
Passing.
my long question. So, then mahabaw yung question ko. So, Edie Jeremy, you're a real trooper and we need to do a part 2.
Yes, ma'am.
But I hope that why don't you say address our mga YouTube, mga ka-YouTube natin, mga ka-trade.
Hello, mga
Mga
ka-YouTube.
ka-trade.
We're happy that you're viewing this. Malaking tulong to sa information. DTI is the agency that really protects the consumer. So, importante you know what DTI is doing. So, as part of DTI and SIAP, we're here to make sure that the construction industry is doing its part to promote and to regulate the construction industry. And asahan nyo, bilang taga-Paranaque, with Asec that we won't settle for less.
You promise you have to dami-dami mong friends and followers, Edie Jeremy. So, paki-plug mo yung show natin para dumami yung kagatangkilit ng trade tayo. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hi mga ka-trade! Ako nga pala si Berlin.
At ako si Alo.
At kami ang inyong Trade Tayo Digital Force. Andito po kami ngayon sa Cavite, sa isa sa mga training centers ng Construction Manpower Development Foundation.
Upang alamin kung ano nga bang meron dito sa CMDF. Tara! Ang Construction Manpower Development Foundation ay isang attached agency ng DTI. Itinatag ito noong November 28, 1980 through PD 1746 bilang isa sa mga implementing boards of the Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines.
Mandato ng CMDF na pagyabungin ng talino, talento at kakayahan ng mga manggagawa sa construction industry. Ang manpower resource ng industriyang ito ay binubuo ng craftsmen, mga arkitekto, inhinyero, project managers, supervisors, and contractors.
Ano po ang Construction Manpower Development Center o ang CMDC?
It's a 10-hectare training center similar to what we can find in Japan. In this CMDC, we train people for both professional and skills. And the skills that we specify are electrical work, plumbing, rebars, welding, ducting, formworks, masonry works, concrete works, and heavy equipment operation. We have ambitious plan for the CMDC, going to train this into a research and development center. Again, with the new reality of having online and our stress on professionals. What we are now concentrating in is the bridging program between construction work and college. Because when you graduate from college, an engineer, they're not ready for construction work. And it will take 2 years of intensive work in the construction to be able to really blend in. So what we really are doing here is to make a bridging program so that in 6 months or so or less, they are now ready to do construction work.
Could you share with us po, sir, ano po yung Construction Academy?
The Construction Academy initially is our effort to concretize one of the action plans of the Philippine Construction Industry Roadmap. So in this Construction Academy, we hope to develop programs for professionals at the onset, but later on for skilled workers also.
Ano po ang Construction Management Development Program ng CMDF?
Yeah, meron kaming programa together with the CMDF. Ang programa na ginagawa namin ang tawag Construction Management Development Program. It is a training program composed of series of modules to train construction personnel to expedite their acquisition of competencies needed to become a project manager. It is composed of 4 phases. Ang unang part ng programa ay tinatawag na bridging program. Second phase is what we call the intermediate program for those who would want to become supervisors in the construction site. The third phase is those who would want to become section managers and eventually a full-fledged project manager. We're focusing on 3 tracks. Yung isa yung field operation, yung isa office operation, yung isa quality assurance and quality control. At the end of this training program, bibigyan sila ng certification ni CMDF.
Ano ang mga benepisyo at kaibahan ng CMDP sa ibang training programs ng government?
The unique characteristic and unique advantage of this training program is that this is what we call industry-led. Kasi sila ang nakakaalam kung ano yung required competence na kailangan sa construction site. Ano ang benepisyo nito? Unang-una, it shortens yung tinatawag natin na learning curve. With this, it redounds to also to the benefit of the company by way of having enough talent pool to be able to perform the construction in a very productive manner. So it benefits the construction industry as a whole because it hastens the construction project cycle.
Maaari nyo po bang imbitahan ng ating construction industry na tangkilikin ang trainings under CMDP?
Okay, unang-una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat ako kay CMDF. Pinakinggan nila yung mungkahi namin na magkaroon ng development program for construction management. We also would want to thank all those members of the technical working group from the various companies. Expected namin na tapusin itong training program by 3rd quarter of the year. Hopefully, we can come up with a pilot run. At sana masuportahan ito ng industriya by sending your people to undergo training. For the companies, training your personnel is the best motivation to be able to retain your people. For sure, you will benefit from this training in terms of better productivity from your people.
Muli, ako po si Berlin.
At ako si Alo.
At kami ang inyong Trade Tayo Digital Force.
May the digital force
Be with you!
back to you, Asec Jean.
Wow! Maraming salamat dahil talagang napakagaling ng ating mga digital force trade tayo vloggers. Thank you very much, Berlin, at saka Alo, sa inyong mga superb talents. Yan. So, ito po, no, kasama po ako doon sa pag-shooting po doon sa ating Construction Manpower Development Foundation. So, nagpapasalamat kami una sa ating executive director, no, si Jeremy Marquez. Siya po yung executive director ng Construction Industry Authority of the Philippines. Siyempre, gusto din ko pong pasalamatan ang ating executive director naman ng CMDF, si Engineer Rene Fajardo. At siyempre, ang ating best friend, si Penny Usigan, Division Chief din po ng ating CMDF. But of course, Engineer June Bernardo, the training director of the DM Consuni Technical Training Center, one of the partners of CMDF. Thank you so much for accommodating us in showing of the Construction Manpower Development Foundation. So Diyan po nagtatapos ang ating episode ng Trade Tayo. At I hope that we'll see you again next week. But don't forget to please like and share this video. And of course, subscribe to the DTI YouTube channel. So don't forget also to hit the notification bell for updates. So ito po si Jean Pacheco na nagsasabing, tara, trade tayo.